you have it, you got it. Go snatch it, skirt the lot. Go ahead, jump it, hop on it, hop on it. Rep for your bro, when your post, your poppin' your projects. Pain driven, itching, drumming. Look how far we coming. Heartbeat on the streets, you can do it. Ain't built for the weekend. Sweet, this sugar. One man army, but get deep. Watch what you doing. I ain't damaged goods, damn it out the clay. You wish you could. I do this for the family. I might just blow my wheel. I'm keeping it so for real. Who feeling that glowing hill? I'm giving they souls the chills. My jewelry code is chill. Stories treacherous, I effortlessly show them skills. Yeah. Paper stuff the edge like I don't know no feel. See the pain deep in my eyes, they know it's real. Yeah, been this way, right before the deal. Say this one for your photo real. Blessing after testing, I'ma show them skills. You ain't gotta tell me, I know I'm ill. Stories treacherous, I effortlessly show them skills. Yeah, so suspenseful, I'm up in the field. Saw it in my eyes, it was the Tiger Hill. Gon' jump off the line and see the flyer field. Rewrite your history off this line right here. Your best bet be ahead, easy to get rich or dead trying. This ain't never new, I just be 10 steps instead. Snooze I won't, I can't lose, ready, rest or I'm dead. Do what you can to do, make your next move your best. I do this for the family, I might just blow my wheel. I'm keeping it so for real. Who feeling that glowing hill? I'm giving they souls the chills. My jewelry code is chill. Stories treacherous, I effortlessly show them skills. Yeah. Paper stuff the edge like I don't know no feel. See the pain deep in my eyes, they know it's real. Yeah, been this way, way before the deal. Say this one for your photo real. Blessing after testing, I'ma show them skills. You ain't gotta tell me, I know I'm ill. Stories treacherous, I effortlessly show them skills. Yeah. I do this for the family, I might just blow my wheel. I keep it so for real. Who feeling that glowing hill? I'm giving they souls the chills. My jewelry code is chill. Stories treacherous, I effortlessly show them skills. Yeah. Let's go. Get first off the edge like I don't know no feel. See the pain deep in my eyes, they know it's real. Yeah, been this way, way before the deal.
Y'all already know what time it is, huh? Playing skills, you did.
Playing skills.
Ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, all on the wrist, watch out flip, watch out whip, I'm in the whip, all on the wrist, I never switch, ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, all on the wrist, watch out flip, watch out whip, I'm in the whip, all on the wrist, I never switch, ice on the wrist, I get the money but I never switch. They saying you switch and you won't get it. You know they came from the bottom and now we is lit. You was lit, I gotta get it, I gotta get it. You hating cause ice on the wrist. Why bet you wanna be famous, They act like they made us, You know I'm icy in Vegas, This for the that hate us, I make a lot of new money, When it's not saving, You be liking my flavor, I think it's cause ice on the wrist, on the wrist, on the wrist. Watch out for this, I never switch, you never switch. I never switch, I never switch. Ice on the wrist, ice on the wrist, ice on the wrist, ice on the wrist, ice on the wrist,
I was legit. Ever since I blew, they all on my hey, back then, didn't know I exist. Don't touch my cup, you know how I sip. Hey, got your long, say I made her when I showed out my whip. Hey, spent about 10 on my 50. Ex slick, then hit with the back then, used to out the zip. Blow out his back, then dip. Got a whole party all on the ship. All these 4 things, pull out the VIP. Suck, turn up, baby, pour out the milk. So you know how I drip. Crush.
car on the wrist, all on the wrist, watch how I flip, watch how I whip, I'm in the whip, all on the wrist, I never switch.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready? Get ready, dog. This be the green light, go. Tires burn the pavement. People wanna know where Mace, Pops, and Dave went. Still here, still in your ear with a style so hot, you'll see where all the sun rays went. Legs, arms, and head, all being moved in a frenzy. The blends be all the right cred, meaning credentials. Best of both worlds when we rockin' over pearls in the instrumental. Are you ready? Set, jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady, to the letter rock, turn it up. We giving the show. But can you rock it like rocket fuel? What you talking about? Space or out your mind? But can you rock it like rockets, fool? That's a close encounter of what kind? When it was time to get it lit, we got it hot like fever. Sick with the talk, passing your receiver. All about running the spot. And you know we got breath control, so no need to take a breather. Cardio kingpin, subjugate the dub play. And you know we can't wait to bring spins. A-star quizzes, A+ the final. Vocals we align, we'll move it all simultaneously over joints we rock. We earn 30 years, so you can say we got 3 turns. Live off the board, unlike you and your chess men. We installed doubt in you and your yes men. And if the game had veins, we'll insert upheaval the ground. Cause the adrenaline we blend with the sound is our thing, relieving the kings of all crowns. So are you ready? Are you set? Then jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady, to the letter right. Turn it up, y'all keep the flow. But can you rock it like rocket fuel? What you talking about? Space or out your mind? But can you rock it like rockets, fool? That's a close encounter of what kind? Then jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Turn it up, y'all peak flow. Are you ready? Set, jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady, to the letter right. Turn it up, we giving the show. But can you rock it like rocket fuel? What you talking about? Space or out your mind? But can you rock it like rockets, fool? That's a close encounter of what kind? But can you rock it like rocket fuel?
S-T-R-O. Yeah. How many of y'all came to win? Oh, they asking my name, huh? You ready? S-T-R-O. I ain't come to play with you. Yeah. Life challenging, but I wouldn't trade with you. It's early, I'm up. Yeah. I can't spend the day with you. I'm minding my business. I ain't getting paid with you. My color bright. I ain't finna fade with you. Man, I gotta come clean like I made with you. I've been on my everybody drop when I drop. Look at shorty, she support ride. Lifting up, never not on my grind. New York City time, another brother better, you will never find. I've been in my bag like groceries. Competition shouldn't take shots, take notes, please. Reporting live from the winter side. Ready to try, keep a different vibe. Is you down the ride, never tired. You will never know, you ain't never tried. Work it out, hit the gym, hit the field. Hey yo, I need that. Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard, on the job, you can see that. On my head is real good, we don't need your feedback. They clear the way with my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Yeah. Beats, leave it in the street, case on the news.
What I do, lace up my shoes, chase W's, grape colored coops. Oh no, I can't be number 2. MVP the league most valuable, they sweet as apple juice. Talking trophies, I done grabbed a few, can't match this attitude. I wear my heart on my sleeve, please. I move like the wind, can't catch this breeze, freeze. Stop you in your tracks, there's not no preseason. We seeking W's like Tupac used to throw up. Forget it, might as well forfeit, your team shouldn't even show up. What you wanna be when you grow up? They used to ask me. Naturally, I chose an athlete. Competition never matched me. We ain't go together like camouflage and polka dots. Focus on your position, just know your spot. Sure, don't stop, it's a long season. They planning on winning for the wrong reasons. Trying to get my number retired, can't let these frauds beat us. I figured out the recipe. Never let opponents get the best of me. I'm focused on my legacy.
I need that. Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard on the job, you can see that. When my hit is real good, we don't need your feedback. They clear the way when my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between our visitors and our own team. Dan Bailey now to put the ball in the air, and off we go to wrap up a great Sunday of football. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Here we go. 180! Hey, gun.
First carry for Christian McCaffrey. Space to maneuver at the 40. A huge play there right off the bat. 44 yards on the ground. Well, welcome to the party. First carry of the game. How about that?
And just think, as far as he's concerned, he's just getting warmed up.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. This is intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, certainly not how he wanted to start his night. First throw of the game, an INT.
Yeah, it's not easy, but he's got to try and wipe that one away from the memory banks. And let's face it, it's not often a quarterback and a defensive back have a lot in common. But one thing, because they have these individual type plays, they've got to have short memories, don't they? DB gets beat, wipe it away, quarterback throws a pick, has to do the same thing.
They'll run. This is Melvin Gordon. Oh, that's just not fair, and now room to run. And able to get this one out just shy of the 25 at the 24. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
First down, Chargers.
Ready, set, 53 at the mark. I got you, son. Switch. Check.
Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. Flushed out right. Now he'll pull it down. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Check, 55 to Mike. Too little, got. Watch the twist. Watch the twist. Check. Fresno.
Play action. It's Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. C.J. Mosley, the linebacker, making sure his presence is felt.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. On third down, Jackson. A bullet throw, but incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part to get them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Now, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
I got you. Give me that ball. Give me that ball, defense.
Watch safety creeping.
Here's the first carry for Alex Collins. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
He can't hang. Lock. 12, fellas, here we go. Hey, Alpha. SOS.
From the gun, it's Garoppolo. That's going to be caught by Josh Reynolds. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
Steelers first down. 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Here we go. 180.
Let's go one more.
On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
At the 46-yard line.
The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4.
Let's go, defense. Our time. It's our time.
Garoppolo looks to throw. And he's got McCaffrey open, complete. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Garoppolo on 1st down. That's complete. It's Collins. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12. Looking to throw. Garoppolo. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this 1st quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
Here we go.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Garoppolo looks to throw once more. And now Garoppolo lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
The call for a fair catch, and it's made at about the 23-yard line. It's just a 30-yard punt that time, no return. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. The Charger drive about to get going. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Here's Jackson to throw. Sets up the screen to Gordon. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Flush to his right. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but if they make them out of bounds, that does you no good.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Don't get nervous.
Check it back, check it back.
To throw again. Jackson eluding the pressure right. He'll get this to his speedster, Paul Richardson. 16 yards is the pickup there and a first down for L.A.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 38. From the pistol, they run with Gordon. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Leonard Floyd able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Third down. 3rd and long.
And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. We're scoreless after 1. Charger football to start quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 3rd down and long coming up. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Check three. Walk, get walk.
Play action. Now Jackson. Well, the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. They get a big amount back, 18 yards, but they'll still look at a 4th down now.
I don't know how many times, not just in my playing career, but you and I working together, have we ever heard a coach say, you know, I just don't have that play on my call sheet. And that's really what we had here. That was a big hole they were trying to get out of.
Yeah, big gain, still a ways to go, though. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier. I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. On play action, it's Garoppolo. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
So the sack of Garoppolo. And now what can they come up with on 3rd and long? A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. He'll drop it off to McCaffrey. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
On is Kern, the punter, to send this one away. Now it's Lockett. 51 yards on the punt there. And that will come the offense as they take over.
At their own 27-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they've got to make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Second and 10 now from the 27. Now Jackson to throw again. Man open, that's Deebo Samuel. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. 23 yards the pickup there.
First down, Chargers.
Here we go.
Now Gordon on first down. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. They go play action with Jackson. Steps away. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Uchenna and Nwosu got the sack there.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
Off the play fake, here's Jackson. And that will be incomplete. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
That's fielded at the 8-yard line. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a...
And now a fumble. The ball's out. And picked up by the Chargers. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. He fights his way in for a Charger touchdown. Huge, huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Fielded about a yard deep. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And let's just say they're going to be looking to start over on this drive. A few moments ago, they were in the exact situation, but their first play led to a fumble that was returned for 6.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a short memory to play in the NFL. You got to remember what you did wrong so you don't repeat it, but you can't dwell on it because then you will repeat it, and that's what you don't want to do.
He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
On the ground, McCaffrey, and he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
Well, that was big right there because they're in the bottom 5 in the league in converting on 3rd down. They needed that pickup in a big way.
There were 2 things they said they wanted to win in this game. One, the turnover battle, and the second, 3rd down conversions. So they got one there. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Well, partner, when you ask anyone other than your QB to throw the ball, you must have a lot of confidence or you think you're really going to fake them out, and it looks like they did exactly that.
Yeah, going deep in the playbook and a great grab on the other end. And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. DeForest Buckner able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening. So the sack of Garoppolo. And now what can they come up with on 3rd and long? To throw, it's Garoppolo. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Continuing to fight for more. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. Now it's Jackson. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're either throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. His big tight end, Tyler Eifert, the intended receiver, and it's third down. From the gun, it's Jackson. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he's in for 6 and a Steeler touchdown. You think you're going into halftime with a good-sized lead. Not so fast. That pick 6 really changes the complexion. Probably also changes the halftime speech.
No doubt about it. Instead of going in relaxed, you're probably a little more uptight right now. Probably a little bit angry. Let's see if they can get their focus back.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The Charger drive about to get going. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well. So that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines, hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field's still available because you can call timeout and regroup.
From up near the 40 now after the big play to start, here's another 1st and 10. Jackson from the shotgun. He's got the hook up to Miller. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys on plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, we talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. That's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes anymore.
They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. Again, Jackson. And that is incomplete. A.J. Bouye, the fine cornerback, there to make the play defensively.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback.
Here we go.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They're down 3, under a minute to go. How aggressive are you going to be in this spot?
Not as aggressive as I probably would want to be. only down 3. I mean, it might as well be even going into the half. That's not a deficit that makes me want to push it and potentially make a mistake in this situation and cost myself even more points.
But boy, getting into field goal range and tying it, that's tempting.
Awfully enticing. You almost talked me into it.
Here's Garoppolo to throw. Gets this to his running back. It's Christian McCaffrey. And he goes out right around the 39.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Garoppolo. Looking here for Smith downfield. And that one almost intercepted. Call it a 50-50 ball. It falls incomplete, and now 3rd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. The end result, 21 yards.
1st and 10 at the 40.
Here we go.
Hey, we got tight left, tight his left.
Garoppolo now, 1st down throw. Going for the deep ball. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half.
At their own 7-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat...
And he's going to go down. He backed up into the end zone, and this is going to wind up a safety. So the screen pass goes backwards. That play seemed to have a potential disaster written all over it from the start.
I mean, wasn't that a tough spot on the field to make that call? You're inviting defensive linemen and linebackers to get pressure. So if one of them sniffs this out, you're definitely in danger, and this time it cost them 2 points.
So a very tight first half. We had to break in a 1-point game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. So the Chargers will start the second half with the lead and the football as we're underway in the 3rd quarter. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21-yard line.
At their own 21-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the 3rd quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. The Mississippi State man, Chris Jones, with a sack there.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And the Steelers now in the nickel here on 3rd down. From the gun, Jackson. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 34. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. So after the INT, it's Garoppolo. Now Garoppolo lost the football. And this is recovered by the Chargers.
That feels like an accumulation of the pressure we've seen all game. I mean, he's been on the turf a whole lot because of sacks. Eventually, something else happens as well, and this time it was a turnover.
Yeah, caught up to him. Good starting field position for him as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 37. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Jackson looking to throw on third. Looks to throw, fires right side, and that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. On is the Chargers punter now. He's been terrific so far. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback.
Here we go.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line so they felt like they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? Now a run with McCaffrey, and that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. What do you need?
Come on, baby. Let's see what you got.
Hey, alert! Alert! Alert!
Mike 50, Mike 50. Hey, watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen.
They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. A big play there from McCaffrey, and even 70 yards. They come up in an offset eye. After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. On the ground, McCaffrey, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll make it 2nd and goal.
Here we go, here we go. 180!
Hey, watch the ball, watch the ball. Check, check. Lucky, lucky.
21, 21.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
But one of the things you like about a zone read play that has an option component to it is that it gives you plenty of different ways to go. On this one, though, I'm not sure they chose the right one. Maybe they should have pitched it out on this one because that play was absolutely swallowed up.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. Boy, such a good drive. You'd hate to have it end in 3. Do you think about going for it?
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that they've moved the ball so well should lead you to the decision that maybe we should go for it right here. Also, as a head coach, show some confidence in your team. Let them know you think they can go get it.
So it's an old-school extra point that counts 3 times. So it's certainly a disappointment they weren't able to get it in the end zone.
Yeah, I can just imagine post-game, head coach looking at the box score, 19-yard field goal, grimacing a little bit, but having to realize that at that moment, getting 3 points was vital. Go ahead and get the points, put them on the board.
The Charger drive about to get going. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. To throw is Jackson. And he whips that one incomplete there. He was looking for Charles Clay as tight end. And it's 3rd and short. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now on 3rd down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete. Oh, Patrick Peterson, the shutdown corner, was there on the coverage. On is the Chargers punter now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line.
Absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows their punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
15, check my 15. Hey, pick your game up.
The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. He'll have a 1st down and more past the 20. And finally brought down right at the midfield stripe. A big play there from McCaffrey. 42 yards. So you got the lead here in the second half. Obviously, you love big runs like that at any time. Here you really like it.
And how about the confidence that's being exhibited by that offense now? They don't care what you're lining up doing on the defensive side. They want the big fella to carry the football and carry it often.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
A good solid game there on 1st down, but the defense has to be happy they didn't let it pop for anything bigger.
Bravo.
And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. Flushed out right. He gets this one complete to Traquan Smith. And he's brought to the ground with another 1st down at the Chargers' 24-yard line.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a 1st down with a nice throw.
Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Mika Fitzpatrick made the play defensively, the 1st-round pick out of Alabama. Throwing on 2nd down. Garoppolo. Flush to his right, and that is incomplete here.
So I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler 1st. Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10. McCaffrey. A good display of power, but it will only get him just inside the 5 to the 4. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Trace McSorley, his 1st touchdown on the year. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Extra point right down the middle. And that makes this a 9-point game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Chargers take over 1st and 10 at their own 20.
The Charger drive about to get going.
These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try to figure out what is working, and call more of that.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Paul Richardson there, and that'll bring up second down.
Despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept...
And for a third time tonight, he's hit. And he lost the football. And I think they are going to get this one back. Well, that would have been something. Double turnovers. But instead, they'll keep the possession on the INT.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
There's Garoppolo on first and 10. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. It was Minkah Fitzpatrick that time to break that one up. Second and 10 now from the 27.
Check.
McCaffrey on the counter. And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. Back now here on EA Sports. It's Steeler football, and they have the lead as well as we begin quarter number 4. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is third and long. He can run for it, and he will. Give him an even gain of 10, but now it's fourth down.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it, but it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Chargers take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. They'll throw on first down with Jackson. Sets up the screen to Gordon. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. The loss of 3 on that first down pass play. Now second and 13. Now Gordon. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. The Chargers on third down. It has been a disaster. 0 for 8 thus far. This time they face a third and 2. And Gordon's going to be stopped short. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it. They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. Open man is Samuel, complete. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on fourth down.
First down, Chargers.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's first and 10. Jackson now. And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off at the 39.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games. And now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
Come on,
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Hey, D-line, let's get in there. Let's get in. 80 weapon.
And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. He'll buy some time right. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down.
Taken down at the 43-yard line. A gain of a yard brings up 3rd and 5.
And the Steelers on 3rd down. Not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This will be 3rd and 5. And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the Chargers will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. The Charger drive about to get going. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you... Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Fletcher Cox racking up sack number 12 for him on the year. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Marcus Williams. And he's in for 6 and a Steeler touchdown. And that one will pretty much erase any hopes of a fourth quarter comeback.
With emphasis, interception, return for touchdown. Door closed, locked, reinforced.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily when you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. On 2nd and 12, Jackson nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Fletcher Cox, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. The Chargers on 3rd down. Can you believe it? 0 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 16. Throwing is Jackson. And now here is another interception. Picked off near the 26. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. What a nightmarish game he's having now. 6 interceptions that he has thrown.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Hard to believe we're watching this and have seen it. but it just tells you about the game of football. It giveth and it taketh away.
Yeah, the guys, though, that have thrown 6 interceptions in a game, the likes of Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, I think Joe Namath, he did it 3 times.
At the 28-yard line.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. He's able to rattle off 6 on the carry, and that'll get him to 3rd and 4.
Playing against a 3-4 front is really challenging for offensive linemen because they can do so many different things. But when you're running the football, if you can handle the nose tackle up front, and then maybe a guard can slide up to the 2nd level and block a linebacker, that's when you have success running the football.
Here's McCaffrey. He's got the first down inside the 10, and he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Christian McCaffrey with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Steelers capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Point after, right down the middle. And that will bump the lead up to 26. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Charger drive about to get going. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was
touchdown LA! Melvin Gordon, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Chargers are able to close the gap just a bit. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. Now they're down big here in the 4th. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 40-yard line.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And he's going to get this inside the 30. The Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards.
It's a gain of 11. And the Steelers first down.
So plenty of smiles for the folks here as they head for the exits. It's a victory for their hometown guys. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense it was much more of the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice to watch in the second half.
So for the home team here, they inch closer to respectability now at 3-6 on the year. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for our visitors, the turnaround hasn't materialized as they fall to 2-7. And they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the road. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.